What's up, everyone? Marc Lobliner, CEO, MTS Nutrition, creator of the Outright Bar, TigerFitness.com. What's going on, guys? Now, there's a big cultural kind of clash between the pretty new carnivores, who basically eat only meat or mostly meat, right? They're animal-based people. They're the opposite of the vegans, right? The vegans survive off plant-based food. Now, I've gone into it and I've said, for the record, I believe one can be a very optimal, very functional, very athletic, very high-performing vegan, but I do believe it is optimal to include meat in your diet. So the argument's going on, like vegans are like, hey, you know, climate change, and if you don't go vegan, the earth's gonna explode and we're all gonna die. Look, I'm not a climatologist, a geologist, an herbologist, a vaginologist, a proctologist. I'm a broologist, man. I'm gonna stay in my fucking lane. Not getting involved in that. Like vegans are arguing that basically cows eat plants, people eat cows, and you have to have land for the cows and land for the plants, so it's twice as bad. Carnivores are like, well, y'all are clearing fields and forests and shit anyway, throwing pesticides and herbicides and fungicides and spermicides all over the goddamn place. So you're fucking up the earth too. So, at the end of the day, we have an impasse, right? Everybody's right. So who's right on the diet, right? Are vegans right? Are carnivores right? Well, let's delve into some overall views, dive into some facts, at least in my opinion, and we can figure out what the best way to do it is, right? So, veggies are healthy, fruits are healthy. I know you got oxalates and anti-nutrients and things that block absorption and fiber, which the carnivores argue are bad for you or get too much of it. I'm not saying we get too much fiber. As a whole, the person on the standard American diet's pretty fucked up. But I will say that getting 50, 60, 70 grams, if you're a vegan or if you're someone that doesn't eat the Outright Bar and eats those other fiber-based bars, see that product plug there? That might be a bit much. That might be a bit much. It might be bloated, might get bubble guts, might not be able to train optimally. I believe around 20 to 40 grams of fiber for most is a good range. If you have irritable bowel syndrome, you got to kind of work with that, which I do. One of the reasons I created the Outright Bar. Okay, so I believe that fruits and veggies are healthy, full of micronutrients, full of antioxidants, just overall good shit to have. High quality carbohydrates for energy. I'm not a low carb guy. So I like fruits. I like vegetables. With the advent of things like planta, plant-based protein from ambrosia, even soy, not a great protein, not a bad protein, has a good amino acid profile. You know, you could be a good vegan, get good quality protein. It's gonna be harder to get your protein requirements, but you can still, you know, combine beans and rice and you can get enough protein. We don't need a gram per pound, but I'll argue that a gram per pound is optimal. We're not arguing health, we're arguing optimal. Carnivore diet is just meat. Meat, animal products, maybe some dairy, maybe some eggs, maybe some cheese I think they have. I'll argue that's not bad. You can live, especially if you eat organ meats, very healthy. Red meat has all the nutrients you need. There's no vitamin C really to speak of, but one can argue that the fact that these carnivores aren't dying, maybe if we don't have the oxalates and all that stuff, maybe we don't need vitamin C. They're not getting fiber, yet they're doing just fine. The only two essential nutrients in the diet, there's essential fatty acids and essential amino acids, protein. So fat and protein are essential, whereas carbohydrate, they're not essential. However, here's how the body works. Your body uses glucose for energy. If it has all energy sources, it goes to glucose first. If it doesn't have enough carbohydrate or glucose, then it goes to gluconeogenesis from protein. So it takes protein, it breaks it down, converts it to glucose in an inefficient process. Bada boom, bada bing. I think that's where a lot of the carnivores are getting their energy Because if they're not eating enough fatty meats, they're definitely going through a gluconeogenic diet. Now, if you lack both protein and carbohydrate, that is called ketosis, or the ketogenic diet. So if your body has no glucose, it doesn't have adequate protein to convert to glucose via gluconeogenesis, then it goes and it takes fat and it converts it to ketones. Ketones are a form of energy that replaces glucose that your body can operate efficiently on, which is why, even though I'm not a ketogenic guy, I love the ketones effect on the brain. So I actually supplement through Ritual AM, which is Ambrosia's product, with BHBs. BHBs are exogenous ketones. The product is Ritual AM. You can look into it. So the question is, which is the better diet? Who is less wrong? Who is more right? Vegans or carnivores? The answer is they're both right and they're both wrong, in my opinion. I know the keto tards are going to come out and say, carbs are going to kill you. No, they're fucking not. I've seen all these arguments on, again, I love the guy. I think he's great. I agree with most of what he says. Dr. Sean Baker saying that, well, you know, all these like things, what was that fucking Outliers or whatever it was, the one with Arnold in it about vegan fucking athletes that are killing it. And the argument is, okay, you took some outliers. You took like the 0.01%. When like all the good athletes have been meat eaters. Like not all of them, but a lot of them. Then you look at Cam Newton, he keeps getting injured, his performance is shit. Like, most of the athletes that convert to veganism in shit like football, and he's getting older, we can argue that too. Maybe he's just getting fucking old. But coincidentally, as soon as he started going vegan, when he was a pescatarian before, he ate only fish. I was a pescatarian for a year and a half. He was fucking killing it, right? One of the most dominant quarterbacks in NFL history, in my opinion. Huge Cam Newton fan. So, his shit goes to shit, right? You have that one strong man, you know, who kind of got in the limelight because that dude talked about him on Joe Rogan, and he's strong and shit, but so are more meat eaters, right? Like, and I'm not saying that's the way to determine it. So, you have all this propaganda about veganism being just as good or better. I'm going to say it's fine. I wouldn't go as far as saying it's just as good. Definitely, for sure, from a performance standpoint, definitely not better. But it's fine. I think you could do just fine as a fucking vegan. However, the carnivores, while they're saying that these guys gave up meat and their performance has dropped, and most of the great athletes have eaten meat, you know what else those great athletes ate? Bread. So I could say that bread was the variable. They probably ate a banana here or there. Could have been a banana. I've actually spent a lot of time with professional athletes. A lot of them eat a lot of fucking Big Macs too. Could have been the Big Mac. So just as much it could have been the lack of meat, or the meat could have been enhancing or helping to optimize their performance, they were also eating carbohydrate. I believe it was the last name Boston. There was one wide receiver, a couple guys. There's really been no ketogenic super athletes walking around, right? Like, no. These guys eat fucking carbs. They fuel themselves with carbs. Know what else they eat? Steak. They eat fish. Look at Tom Brady's diet. Baker just posted the other day. It's 20% meat, I believe. Beef, fish, very little chicken, mostly beef and fish. Quinoa, veggies, all that shit. Bottom line is, as much as the carnivores can point and say, no, vegans got great, became great because they were vegan, it's actually been shown to hurt people who eat meat's diet. I can point and say, name the last guy who just ate meat, who performed at an elite athlete level. Now, Dr. Sean Baker, at the end of the day, he is a great world-class rower. Last time I checked, not too many people are going into indoor rowing and killing. Like, it's not something when a kid goes to school, you have all this competition. I want to go to the NFL. I want to go to the NBA. I want to play professional soccer in Europe. My kids are about that age where kids start having those dreams. Not once has any kid said, I'm going to start training really hard to be a professional indoor rower. So while Dr. Sean Baker is a beast, in his 50s, killing it, hardly a poster child for elite athletics. About as much as me, and I'm fucking terrible. So what I'm saying is, they're both right and they're both wrong. What we need to do is stop looking at these extremists. We need to look at what's worked in the past for most people. And that is a balanced, healthy, mixed diet. Here's what I recommend. Set protein at 1 gram per pound of body weight. That has been verified and proven and written about ad nauseum by groups such as the ISSN or the International Society of Sport Nutrition. And protein is essential. Getting 1 gram per pound makes sure that no matter how hard you train, you're gonna have enough protein to fuel your performance, your repair, and your needs. Might be a little much, but fuck it. You eat too much, remember earlier? It just gets converted to carbohydrate via gluconeogenesis. And if there's too much of that, then you store it as fat, as with any excess calories. No, and well, it's actually been shown that you could overeat on protein and gain less fat than overeating on the other 2 macronutrients, carbs and fat. Little known fact, or a studied fact. Number 2, fat. I like to see it at around 0.3 to 0.5 grams per pound. So a 200-pound male, get about 100 grams of fat. If you get 0.3, you're probably fine. What does that do? Fat serves a lot of functions in the body, such as hormones, such as skin. All that different kind of helps. Helps you absorb vitamins. You can't absorb vitamin A or other fat-soluble vitamins without it. Get adequate fat. Then carbohydrate, being the non-essential nutrient, add it in. Add in healthy, nutrient-rich carbohydrates. Honey's a superfood. Oatmeal. Apples, bananas, berries. Fuck, have a Pop-Tart. Live a little bit. You only live once. So if you take a month out of your life eating a Pop-Tart, fuck it. You live too fucking long anyway. Enjoy that shit. Right? By the way, could also eat outright bars. Just have to fucking say it. Got bills to pay, motherfuckers. So here's the deal, man. You saw that ratio? Protein, fat, carbs, 1 gram per pound, 0.3 to 0.5 grams per pound of fat, and then fill in the rest of carbohydrate, right? Your caloric needs. Now, one thing I didn't mention is what you fill it in with, huh? Fuck, you could do that shit with veganism. Vegans can do that too. Bro, there's proteins out there for vegans that are actually fucking good. Biological value is a bit lower, but if you're getting 1 gram per pound, fuck, you're right there. Planta by Ambrosia actually throws in, doesn't count towards the protein count, it's not amino spiked, throws in 2 to 1 to 1 BCA to help make it more like, to increase the MPS or the muscle protein synthesis of it, to make it more like an actual animal-based protein powder. So whether you're filling it with whey, chicken, beef, fish, or planta, or fucking tofu, get your gram of protein per pound. Where you're lacking in the plant-based proteins is biological value, which again, if you're getting enough protein, not that big of a deal. And make sure you supplement what you lack. Algae-based fish oil, you have to drink a lot of that shit, but you want to aim to get 1 gram to 3 grams of combined EPA DHA a day. If you're a vegan and you're okay taking fish oil caps, some vegans who aren't doing it just to claim they're vegan or are doing it for health and altruistic purposes, I'm sure your carbon footprint from taking some fish oil caps isn't going to be that bad. You can't get it from flax oil. The conversion from ALA, alpha linoleic acid, to EPA DHA is fucking garbage. It's shit. Okay, so you got that. Make sure you supplement with B vitamins. Okay, vitamin D. Vitamin D is critical. MTS Nutrition makes a Vega D3, a vitamin D from a vegan source, from lichens. Most vitamin D, if not all, is actually from sheep's wool grease, which is lanolin. I do a vegan D3. Why? Who the fuck wants to eat sheep's wool? I'm not a fucking vegan, but I don't want to lick a sheep's ass. So there you have it. They're both right, they're both wrong. At the end of the day, vegans can hit the same type shit. Just make sure you pay attention to ratios. Gram of protein per pound of body weight, 0.3 to 0.5 grams of fat per pound of body weight. Fill in the rest of your caloric needs with carbohydrate. Do your cardio, weight train really fucking hard, try to progressive overload, do some high intensity fucking work, and you'll get fucking good results. You'll be healthy and you'll live longer. I don't give a fuck if you eat steak, if you eat liver, if you eat veggies, if you eat tofu. I don't give a fuck if you eat your wife's ass, your man's ass, your whatever, a dog's ass. At the end of the day, do those things, you're gonna be fine. You're gonna be fine. Stop the arguing. If it's environmental, that's another fucking argument. That whole climate change shit, that's fucking out of my lane. But if you're looking at overall health, vegans, you're wrong. Carnivores, you're wrong. Vegans, you're right. Carnivores, you're right. If you're talking about overall health, follow those things. You'll be slightly less likely to die. But Father Time is undefeated, so fuck it. Do what the fuck you want to do. Thank you, Hodge Twins. That's not a game. Stone Cold Steve Austin. Look who I ran into in LA.
Good to meet you. I've been watching your videos a long time. Tell me about this protein bar.
So it's the Outright Bar, man. It's all natural ingredients, made with real food. None of that. You ever want to work out? You want just a little snack, a little bar before training, but you know the other bars might give you a gut bump.
Right.
This is something that doesn't have any prebiotic fiber, no glycerin, no sugar alcohols. It's whole, real food.
That is a tasty bar.
Really?
It's easy to eat. It's not too chewy. Normally I eat something like this with a big ass glass of milk. That's good.
So it's like a
That's
cookie.
really good. No, it's not good.
If you want, we also have the, want to try the almond butter one while we're here?
Love to.
All right, so
That's
this
a
is,
badass bar.
this is made with almond butter, Steve.
That's a winner too.
Really?
He's badass. Good protein bars. Where can people find these?
Well, they can find it at any retail stores. You can find it at tigerfitness.com.
2 badass protein bars. So they get 2 double middle fingers up from Stone Cold Steve Austin, and that's the bottom line.